All right. Hey guys. Well, welcome to week 4, day 3. So this is the third day of week 4. I think it's day 24 in the 30 days. And so as we like to go live on these Wednesdays so that you guys have opportunity to just like connect with us and to hear from us. So I know that some of you guys will replay this later. That's totally cool. You can post any questions. This is Alex.
Hey.
And I'm with Faith tonight. Yeah, so we haven't heard from Faith in a little while. She was on our very first one. Didn't hear from Alex last week, so I wanted to bring them on to be live with us so that we could chat with you guys. We want to talk about the best ways to pray more and better. So this is, such a big deal, obviously, with teens, with youth, prayer, like how to build a strong prayer life to the point that you feel like your prayer life is effective. So I want them to talk to you guys about it because you guys hear from me. You guys have heard from me so much in the 30 days series, but I want you guys to hear from them what they think is just like the best way to get better and stronger in your prayer life. Prayer is the answer to so many things. If you can pray, you can break through. I want you guys to always remember that. If you can pray, you can break through. But the thing about it is, how do you get to the place where that prayer is happening and it's regular and you feel real about it? So Alex, what do you think? What was a good way for you to get better and stronger at prayer?
Well, mostly just talk to God because that's mostly kind of like prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk to Him and ask, how can I probably get better at prayer?
Yeah.
And probably make a schedule plan, days where you have prayer days, and so you get stronger in prayer and the Lord.
No, I like that. So he said schedule, which is everything, guys. Without a schedule, it just kind of becomes when I get around to it. Yeah. So I think a schedule is really important. If you don't have a planner, talk to your parents about getting you one. Make sure you have some kind of planner and literally build your prayer times into that schedule. I know you've got a lot of things going on. You probably have sports or academic teams or just things that are going on, but plan that prayer in your schedule like you would anything else important. Anything's important to you, you're gonna write it down, you're gonna make an effort. So I love that he said that. And then the first thing he said, just by talking to God in general, I think that is really important. Prayer is a conversation. And so getting familiar with God in prayer and starting to become accustomed to dealing with him in prayer, I do think that it is about speaking to him. It's about kind of opening up your literal mouth and letting words come out and start to have a conversation with him. Because prayer, hey Amaya, how you doing? Big shout out to you. And so I think that that's so important when you're dealing with prayer. Like, you've got to get used to talking to God and used to what that feels like. Alex, I'll ask you this one question, then we'll move to Faith. But what do you feel like is the best way to overcome the reality that you can't see God? And a lot of times we can't hear from him, but we have to trust in faith that when we're talking to him, that he's there and that he's listening.
Well, mostly have a lot of faith for once. Read the Bible for another one.
Okay.
And third, believe. Because faith without work is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So have a lot of faith and believe even more. And have hope that he is there.
Okay. So yeah, you have to believe. Just straight up believing, I think, is really important. And just knowing that, yes, you're speaking to someone that you can't see, but your faith helps you to literally open your eyes so that you can not only feel God, but that you can see with your spiritual eyes that he is there with you, that he's moving with you. Awesome. Okay, Faith, what say you? First, tell them a little bit about yourself a little bit. I'm going to scoot this way just a little, let you scoot in. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Faith. I've been on here once before, so not really familiar to everybody. Me, I guess I'm a very weird, funny person. I'm very corny. I tell a lot of dad jokes. It's true. And I think thinking about with the Lord and stuff, I'm definitely growing more truthfully in him. And yeah, I guess, yeah, I think that's a little bit about me.
Yes. So what grade are you in?
8th.
8th grade. So big shout out to those of you guys who've been following 30 Days Closer who are also in 8th grade. Alex, what grade are you in?
I'm in 9th grade. High school, let's go.
9th grade. So shout out to all of you guys who are in 9th grade. Paxton's in 11th grade. Naomi's in 10th grade. Is that right? Did I get that right? Got that right? So you guys got to hear from Paxton and Naomi last week. So they're the upperclassmen. And now you guys get to hear from the 8th grader and the 9th grader. So I hope that some of them represent kind of where you're at. Faith, what would you say is your biggest challenge when it comes to prayer? What's your biggest challenge?
Not doubting that he's listening.
That's good. How do you overcome that? Do you feel like you overcome that, or do you feel like it's just something that bogs you down every time you pray?
I feel like most of the time a little awkward at first, but then like I have to tell myself, like talk to myself, talk through it and push through it, I guess. So it shows me more and less. Every time I pray, it happens less and less.
Yeah. Do you feel God when you pray? Do you feel like he's there in the midst of you listening and that he's with you?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
And what do you do when you don't feel that he's with you?
I keep talking. I keep praying because you never know. It might just be like me not feeling it. So I just keep praying.
No, that's good. I wanted her to answer those questions because honestly, guys, that's getting really real with you. Sometimes you're going to be praying and you're not going to feel God. Okay. That's a reality. And it has less to do with whether or not God is with you and more to do just with where you're at in that particular moment. It just you might be struggling with your own emotions. You might be struggling with your own doubt. That has less to do with something that God has done or not done and more to just do with where you're at. And you do have to do what Faith said, and that is you got to push through that, y'all, because there's a lot of great experiences with God that are on the other side of our initial doubts of him. But the enemy would love nothing more than for us to stay in that first place of doubt so that we do not press to get God's best. The Bible talks about the fact that if we diligently seek God, that he's there, that he is there at the end of that diligence. So that means that we literally have to press through our flesh, our doubts, our emotions, our feelings, our lack of faith, all those different things to get to the place where we get the sweetness of who God is. So I love that she answered that. And I think that she probably represents a lot of you guys, where sometimes you have strong faith and you believe that God is there and he's with you, and then other times it's just really hard, depending on what you're going through. Alex, let me ask you this question. What is something that you pray about often?
Mostly time in school, education, college, and have a great day.
Okay, so school, and you pray over your day. What would you say is the hardest thing you've ever prayed about?
Mostly my mom. The trouble we went through and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And for those of you guys who don't know Alex's story, Alex lost his mom last year to a long, long battle with cancer. And, at that time, would you say that prayer was harder during that time? How did you overcome that to get to the place where you started praying again and started trusting again, if you don't mind, because there may be some teens that follow 30 Days Closer that had a similar experience that you had. Maybe they lost a parent or they lost someone close to them or they went through something really difficult. How did you move forward from that and open your mouth and pray again? Was that difficult? Like, maybe share a little bit about that with them.
Well, I cried in my bed. Man, I cried myself to sleep. But then I felt like one day if I pray hard enough, I might be able to let my mom come back. But when she died, and then she told me something in the room, I don't know what it was. I forgot. I think it was Press On or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, so now I just want to make my mom happy and just pray on, because I know God is still there and he's still taking care of me. And even though I lost someone I loved,
Yeah.
God still loves me, and God's always first, so I put him first and pray on.
I love that. And I don't know who of you out there have experienced something similar to Alex and have had a great loss in your life. And it can be really difficult to trust God again. It can be difficult to trust God still. But what I love about what he said was that he said, I lost someone I loved, but I remembered that God still loved me. And I think that that's so important. under the sun in this earth, we're going to experience disappointment. We're going to experience grief and loss. And the important thing to note is that prayer is not something to run from during those times, but that prayer is actually something to run to during that time, that it can end up being a place of peace for you. And a lot of times when we're hurting, we run from peace. We run from that place because we just don't know now who to trust. Like, I'm hurting and I don't really know who to trust, but we have to understand that God is constant. And even when we don't understand what's happening to us, his faithfulness is the same. So thank you for sharing something so personal. And because I know that there are others that might be going through something similar. And if that is you and you're following 30 Days Closer and you've just dealt with a huge disappointment in your life, just know that there is hope on the other side of that disappointment, that there's healing on the other side of that loss that you experienced, and that God has an answer and he has the ability to reach into every place where you're at right now, whether it's hurting, whether it's doubt, like Faith talked about, whether it's confusion or mistrust. God is able to reach into that place and to help you to get healed from those things so that you can move forward. So prayer gives you an answer that you can move forward with. Faith, what would you give as your best tip to pray more often? How can we learn to pray more often? Or at least, how often should we pray exactly? What do you think?
I think at least twice or once or twice a day.
Oh, okay. I like it. And what would you say is your best tip? Like, we have school, we have a lot of things going on. What would be the best tip in your perspective of how we can remember to actually fit prayer in?
For me, what works best is a schedule, or, if you're a good, mental person, keep reminding yourself daily. And if you miss a day, I would say do it a couple more times, or pray
make
longer.
up for it. Pray longer, make up for it if you miss a day.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we hope that this has been helpful to you guys. It's called Quick Chat, so we're going to try to wrap it up. So we hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Listen, this is our last week of 30 Days Closer, so that means that this is going to be our last live. Well, we might sneak in a quick live on Sunday. Maybe I'll bring the whole crew together. So Sunday, I've got all these flyaways. Sunday, I'll get the whole crew together. Paxton, Naomi, Alex, and Faith, and maybe we'll sneak chat in there. We'll get the whole crew on Sunday, and we'll greet you guys, and we'll talk to you guys, and maybe do a quick Q&A as we wrap up 30 Days Closer. So make sure you follow the rest of the series. There will be a Devo that's posted later tonight that's for today as well, so be on the lookout for that. And guys, I'll be back with you tomorrow, and these guys will be back with you on Sunday. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Keep the prayer up, all right? Keep your schedule. We'll talk to you, and we'll see you the next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.